All right, we're reviewing season three, episode. I'm sorry, season nine, episode four, Married to Medicine. Y'all know I don't do no editing, so y'all just have to roll on this one. So we pick up from episode three, where trying to, have a conversation with Heavenly, and she asks Heavenly, "Can the friendship be, salvaged? Can it be saved?" And Heavenly lets her know that she doesn't think that it's possible, for the simple fact that she felt so hurt and betrayed by Contessa's uh, her actions, her words, her. I think the betrayal really came in to why when she teamed up with Simone and Toya, knowing that they don't get along with her, knowing that like these are my enemies, these are not my friends, these girls don't like me, I don't particularly like them, and for Contessa, who is someone that hung out with Dr. Heavenly outside of the show, built a relationship, built a bond, and you're gonna go team up with my enemies. It felt like the ultimate betrayal because it's like I can't trust you. But the funny thing is the same way that Heavenly feels about Contessa is how Contessa feels about Heavenly. I feel like I can't trust you. I cannot trust you emotionally. There was a emotional betrayal, and so now there's that feeling is mutual. I can't trust you. And so back in the house, Quan is having a conversation with Dr. Simone and Anila, and she's pretty much just taking up for having to know that this was wrong. This is not how you go about doing it. This is not how you handle the situation. And she, Simone let her know that, well, I don't feel like I can approach Heavenly. I don't feel like you can't talk to Heavenly. She's so, defensive, or she doesn't receive it. He said, basically you're the one to talk when you went off on Heavenly first when she said something about no. She put emojis underneath Quad's Instagram. In, Quad did an Instagram post where she was kind of, posed in a risk. I think she had like in a bikini or something, so her ass, her butt was out and all that stuff. So uh, Heavenly put up an emoji where it was covering her mouth, and Quad took it as you're saying that I'm stinky, but Heavenly meant it as, like, ooh, okay, like, ooh, all right, girl, that kind of thing. And so, but at the time, Quan went off on Heavenly because she thought she was being funny, she thought she was being shady, and she just snapped. So Simone's position is you snapped on her too, so don't, you know, try to be holier than thou. You've been in the same position, but Qual let her know that I've been on the phone with her. I picked up and called her. We've had 15 conversations. I let her know, ahead of time before I even snapped on her. We've already, previously had talks. So, long story made sure they kind of ended by, Simone's trying to make a point. This is America, and I can, deal with who I want to deal with, and that kind of, broke the tension in the room, and everyone kind of laughed it out, and uh, we moved on. And again, I didn't agree with the intervention. I thought the way that they went about it was wrong. I don't. You should never just ambush somebody without their knowledge, especially in terms of a conversation about something. There's more serious matters that a person can deal with or go through that may need an intervention, not someone. We move on to. Oh, I thought I had to note. I thought it was funny that Tessa snatched. She bought a wig from Heavenly's store, and in the episode, she snatched off the wig, and I don't know. That's just true Contessa dramatic fashion. So anyway, we move on to let's see here. Anila and Heavenly meet for lunch. And so Neela's just letting Dr. Heavenly know that, look, Quan had your back. That was crazy what happened, yada, yada, yada. But, Quan was there for you, but she's still upset with you about a particular thing. And so Heavenly thinks that Quan is maybe still, harboring negative emotions, less about, the butt injection, accusations or what have you. But her concern is Heavenly going around saying that she's sleeping with married men, or that there's a rumor out there, and she seems to be kind of co-signing the fact that the rumor that Quan is allegedly sleeping with married men. So in the lunch, Heavenly kind of doubles down on it and said, "Well, that's what the woman said. That's what somebody said." As she thought cameras was away from her, but she was still mic'd up, and that mic'd up situation has got a lot of people caught up in reality TV over the years. So she kind of doubles down on that. Well, the rumor is out there saying that Quan slept with one of her friends' husbands, and blah blah blah. So we kind of revisit that, and in Heavenly's confessional, she denies it, but again, it's on tape. Uh, let's see. Then we move on to Scott and Contessa working in their practice. Now, I think this is great. When they first, I think it was last season, I want to say, when they were building, and it may be, yeah, it was definitely. She said we're just 1 year in. So practice, I think everyone was kind of concerned because their relationship wasn't that great. They were arguing, they weren't connecting. Uh, Divorce was an option, but now, oh no, that was definitely they built it the previous season, and then this past season is when it actually came into fruition. So we always have to think about when things were taped versus when things actually air. So, but now, fast forward where we are today, in the episode, their relationship is back on track. Scott and Contessa interact with each other in a loving and jovial way, and just that the practice is running smoothly. And even in their confessionals, they seem to be a bit more in sync and uh, on page with each other. So that was really refreshing to see. And of course, Contessa gets in this fine, brawny of a man, and she's not hating her job today. But anyway, I'm sure, being that she's an occupational man, I'm sure she sees a plethora of fine men, so to speak, athletically built men. All right, so moving along, we see Anila is adjusting to life without Miss Gomez. And some people have been saying that, she's complaining about, parenting, being a mother, when all she does is blog, and does, you can do that, anytime, where. But I took it more as her just adjusting to having to incorporate things that she didn't have to incorporate before. I didn't feel like it was complaining. She's just letting them up, and you know, uh, getting them ready, preparing breakfast, doing laundry, taking them to school, and they go to separate schools. I feel like she was just letting us know that it's an adjustment, and that's going to be with anything. If you are a stay-at-home mom, and then all of a sudden you got to go back to work, and then you got to juggle this, or you were working and then you're not working, and that's adjustment. So I feel like she was just saying the adjustment has been difficult because it's something for the past, at least the past 5 years that we know of, that she hasn't had to do. So I feel like she was just saying it's been an adjustment, and that would be an adjustment. Just like if you have one child and then you have another child, you know, that's an adjustment. It's not complaining. It's just saying things in my life have changed, and now I'm adapting to that specific change. And so she calls her mom, and her mom does. I love her mom. Her mom does what mothers do. She just assures her and encourages her that you're my daughter. You're strong. You can do this. You got this, and keep moving. And so again, I love Anila's mom, so that was just great to hear. That was great for her to hear. But we also get a light that, or we're informed that Anila is not just content with being a doctor's wife. She's like, I'm not content with just being a stay-at-home mom. Her mom was. She was happy. Her goal in life was just to be able to be a good mom and to raise her children. Anila lets us know that I want more. I'm ambitious. Yes, I want to, raise my children, be a good mom, be a good wife, but she also has a side of her that craves that uh, ambition, that craves an individual or independent success outside of her home and outside of her marriage. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying I want things for myself, because that's partially what you're put here to do, is to do what you're supposed to do. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what else she's gonna do. I know she has her blogging, and she said her blogging subscription has gone up like to 80,000 plus subscribers, and she gets things in the mail where she, does reviews and things like that. So I'm excited to see where she's going with this. So I think any person that says, look, I need more and there's more in me to give to the world, I want to see what you have to offer. So I'm kind of Team Manila. She really hasn't done anything wrong in my eyes yet. I'm kind of Team Manila. So moving on, moving along, we get to the Halloween party that is hosted by Dr. Simone and Cecil. And the party is otherwise uneventful until Anila and Dr. Kieran, her husband, show up as movers to help Eugene and Toya move. Now I thought it was funny. I thought like the fact that they not just showed up in moving outfits like in some Dickies unit, but they like rented a U-Haul. They've got the checkboard. Anila's got the hat on. Uh, to me, I thought it was hilarious. I really did. Like I laughed. I think I even paused and rewinded. I found it pretty funny. But Toya and Eugene were I really think so. Dr. Eugene was really offended, and Toya is just going to be on par with her husband. So Toya pulls Anila to the side so they can have a conversation like, she wasn't happy about it, but Eugene kind of went off on Dr. Kieran. And I think that it's very telling. It's very telling because in the argument he has, it's not even an argument because Dr. Kieran is kind of just listening and has like two or three sentences to say. Eugene's the one that's going off. He's like, everybody. Dr. Kieran tells Eugene, everybody. No, yeah. Eugene tells Kieran, everybody moves. As he put it, everybody goddamn moves. So, if everybody moves and everybody goddamn moves, why are you so upset and offended at them coming to the Halloween party as your movers? If it's not that serious and it's not that big of a deal, why are you like so upset to where you got to walk away? Because you're so here. But just me personally, that's my perspective. It wasn't. I don't think they meant it intentionally to harm or to embarrass or to hurt. I felt like it was just a joke, and it probably should have just been taken as just a joke. But you can't tell somebody what they should or shouldn't find funny in their own life. So, and you can't tell them how to respond to it. So, you kind of just have to take it on the chin. Let's see. So later on in the Halloween party, Dr. Heavenly comes along to apologize to Quad just on the strength of their friendship. And in Quad's confessional, she lets it be known that Quad, Heavenly, if you say one more thing disrespectful towards me, I'm pretty much deading the friendship. I'm deading the relationship. I'm out. One more thing. And then quite naturally, we got Bravo, replaying the tape to where Heavenly alleged that Quad has indeed allegedly slept with one of her friend's husband. Again, she was mic'd up. She didn't think the cameras were there. She probably forgot that she had the mic on because the cameras weren't present. So you kind of just get comfortable, when you're in conversation. And so she let it out again. And so I'm interested into what the reunion is going to be like because Heavenly's going to have a lot of splaining to do, as Scarface would say, Al Pacino would say. You got a lot of splaining to do. So then we move on to the fellas meeting up. We've got Dr. Scott, the new guy. I can't remember his name. I think his name is Martin or Dr. Martin. He's a dentist. He shows up with Scott, Dr. Damon, Dr. Eugene, Cecil, Curtis, and then Dr. Kieran comes towards, I guess, the middle part of their meeting. And Kieran and Eugene, again, have the conversation about, Eugene being offended and thought it was inappropriate, thought it wasn't the man thing to do. You stay out of women's drama and what have you. And Kieran was really like, it's a joke. Like, I'm sorry y'all took it that way. I'm sorry I offended y'all or hurt y'all. But it really was just a joke. And I can't apologize for making a joke when I had no ill intent. So Eugene, of course, he responded in a non-typical Eugene way. He kind of, blew up a little bit again. And Dr. Kieran said, well, fine, I won't make it. I'll just be, the dullest mother ever here. And Eugene says, call me a mother effer one more time. So it's like, Eugene is really heated about this moving topic. Again, it's very, very telling, showing something. It's putting it on Front Street that you're not comfortable or happy about these moves that y'all are having to make, every, 2 to 3 years. At least seems like every other season y'all are moving, or at least a few times since I've been watching, which I've been watching since the very beginning. Y'all been moving. So I think it's very telling, and I think as the season goes on, we'll see uh, what unfolds, what takes place, and definitely once the reunion begins to happen, maybe it's in another month or so. But anyway, that wraps up season 9, episode 4, Married to Medicine. We'll catch you next time. Bye.